Hello everyone. Today I'm in a courtyard of an interesting building. No one is stopping me, so let's go in and let's explore a little bit. But where is it? Well, I'm in Czech Republic and this is quite an interesting castle or chateau as they call it now. And I do know something about it, so I will just share it before we get in. It is situated on a steep sandstone cliff on a rock platform and was originally called Skala, the rock. The first written mention of this castle is from 1353, so pretty old. And it went through many ownership changes over the hundreds of years, confiscated by the emperor and so on, sold, bought, and so on. It was rebuilt in 1710 and again in 1804, and that's how it looks basically today. Actually, in 1859, I think the castle was again rebuilt in the style of a Renaissance chateau. And after World War II, in 1945, the owners and the German-speaking population were expelled according to the law that the Czech or Czechoslovakian government put into place. And under communist rule, the castle served as a recreation home. For some years now, the property has been operated as a hotel and spa, probably in the last 30 years. First, I actually want to climb up this tower. I bet there will be pretty magnificent views, and let's go and check it out. Of course, there is no elevator, we have to climb the steps, but that's no big deal, we will get there. Oh wow, what do we have here? A magnificent clockwork. Here is the clock outside on the tower, and that's being powered by this beautiful mechanism. Clockwork refers to the inner workings of either mechanical machines called clocks and watches. It's using a series of gears driven by a spring or a weight. And here in this particular case, it's driven by a weight. Your father's watch used a spring. So this is probably quite old and it's still being used in many places in historical buildings in the world, as opposed to new buildings which obviously have clocks powered by some kind of electrical equipment. And since we are at the top of the chateau or the tower, let's have a look around. Since 1933, the area with 60 million year old formations has been a protected natural reserve. Some scenes for major TV and film productions were filmed there, and I will mention it later. I hope you can see above the red roof, kind of in the middle of the screen, two kind of plaques or whatever located on the hill, and it's called Trotsky Castle, and it consists of two 14th century ruins, and it's located high on the summits of two basalt volcanic plugs. So there was a volcano millions of years ago. And the whole area around here is very popular with rock climbers. We can see some sandstone rocks, but by no means it's all of them. There are many of them. Some of them are on the other side of the castle or on the other side of the hills, and they are really popular. It's also an area popular with tourists and hikers, and many people come here for a vacation, for a weekend, or for a day. What I have just learned is that the British American historical series Britannia, which has been broadcast on Sky Atlantic in the UK and Amazon Prime Video in the US since January 2018, was partially shot in the neighborhood of this chateau. The story takes place in the year 43 AD as the Roman Empire was trying to conquer Great Britain. It is supposed to be following in the footsteps of two other famous series, Games of Thrones and Vikings, which I've actually watched some of the episodes until it got a little bit boring and I gave up. But I've never heard about this series Britannia, but it's supposed to be very, very popular. So you figure it out. What else can I tell you? I think I already mentioned that the Chateau nowadays is a hotel and spa, and I just checked. It's pretty booked even during pandemic, and all things considered, the prices, at least in the off season, are not so bad. I think I saw something between $50 to $150 per night for a room, breakfast included, something like that. There are other places to sleep than this one, I think. But I think this place beats any regular hotel. And we can see that they have rooms here for rent, basically for corporate events. You can get married here, probably not divorced, I doubt it, but you never know. The decorations, they try to make it kind of semi-historical. You can see some hunting trophies and such on the walls. In some rooms you can see some kind of medieval, I don't know, weaponry, stuff like that, to kind of bring it to, I don't know, bring people to the mood or to realize that they'll stay in a historical chateau. But overall, I would say it's pretty nice, the hotel, the chateau, and the nature around is absolutely spectacular. If you have a chance, give it a thought. Let's take a look outside of the chateau. There is actually only one entrance into it, and it's over the bridge. I don't know if the bridge was built for defensive purposes or simply because there is no other way to get to the castle. But in any way, it's impressive and it kind of makes a grand entrance into the castle. Right after we get out of the chateau, on the right side is Saint Joseph Catholic Church, which is 200 years old, and it was built by the owner of the chateau, as I mentioned, 200 years ago. There is some little garden, and in front of the church is a convenient parking lot for the people who are visiting. So this is called Rock City, and you can probably easily guess why, because it resembles a city, and actually people in the past, previous centuries, lived here on and off in caves and so on. Behind those trees is the castle over there, but I think I will take an easy way out and go up the stairs here. People come here, do some rock climbing, but I don't think I will be attempting any of that. Okay, let's go up. It's pretty narrow in this part. And the gorge has its own microclimate because it's always dark, cold or colder than in the surrounding area, and always wet. So different plants thrive here. Couple more steps or maybe 30 steps and I'll be there. I hope you liked the video. I think this is it for today. Thank you very much for watching and see you next time.